Take a guess. Which one of us loves Steve Harrington and which one of us wants to wring his neck?
And did we have a different take on the path that gets us to that climactic cliffhanger?
Red and Red Real Reviews ventures into the Upside Down with Season 5, Part 1 of Stranger Things on Netflix. I knew within the first 5 minutes I was going to hate it, but then it was so bad. Ugh.
Nobody wants this?
Like, literally nobody wants this.
Internet's going to get mad at me for this one. There's no fat elf. You know?
Duty, which I can't say without laughing. Duty, like I'm English.
John B and Sarah I don't want to sound like a loser for saying this, but they're adorable. I'll admit it.
Welcome back to another episode of Red and Red Real Reviews. So today we're covering the first part of Season 5 of Stranger Things, which is 4 episodes. So before we get deep into the Upside Down, let us know what you think of the podcast as a whole or a possible show we should have on our radar to cover by emailing us at redandredrealreviews@gmail.com and following us on Instagram, Red and Red Real Reviews. And that is the letter N and real spelled with 2 E's. So I had AI do a little bit of the heavy lifting for me and do the math for me. So we've literally waited 3.5 years in between Season 4 and Season 5 of this show. So much like I had little to no memory of where we left these characters, did you have a hard time getting back into that place before you watched the new episodes?
Yeah. I had like fuzzy memories of certain things, but I couldn't remember whether they were Season 4 or from earlier than that.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't like, trust the whole recap thing because they'll leave out a detail here or there. So I made an effort to just rewatch the whole Season 4. And I don't know what happened when I watched this because like the first 7 episodes I'm watching it and I'm like, yep, I remember that. Yep, I remember that. Okay, I remember the little Eddie thing, And then I get to the last 2 episodes and it was like completely fresh. So I don't know whether I was so disengaged from the first 7 episodes that I wasn't paying attention, or maybe it was late at night and I passed out and the last 2 finished on autoplay. Like the last 2 episodes, which is where all the action happened, was like a whole fresh experience. So I'm glad I put the time in to just watch the whole thing and make sure it was fresh in my mind going in.
I wonder if it's just possible that since it's been so long that we just completely forgot about certain things. Like I wonder if we did watch it, but then like usually you wait like a year for a new season of a show, right? And like even in a year, you're kind of like, oh, I forget the name of these characters. I have to like jog my memory again, especially with characters with complicated names or complicated plot lines or something like that. But yeah, I kind of feel like I like blacked out a little bit. I remembered very little. And I did look up a recap, but it was nice because it was like a 20-minute recap on YouTube. And this guy was talking through seasons 1 through 4. So he kind of like goes all the way back to the beginning and gives a full recap of highlights of the season 1 through 4 to kind of remind you of things that happened way in the beginning that you might not remember, especially now after that 3.5 year gap.
A linear jump.
Yeah, so that was good. So I wish I had looked up the name of this the handle of this guy on YouTube because I thought it was very, very helpful to watch going into this season.
Hey, take it easy. If he's not giving us shout outs, we don't give him shout outs.
Yeah, true. Well, he doesn't know us, but I couldn't even tell you what his handle was by recollection. So just some little highlights of like the big stuff of where we left the characters. So basically all I remembered was that Max is in a coma. So Vecna killed her, but Eleven manages to revive her and bring her back, but she's in a coma. She's blind, I guess. And then with that, Vecna kind of snuck off after he killed her. So he's survived. He's still around. And then it's basically confirmed at the end of season 4 that Will has a weird mind connection to Vecna slash the Mind Flayer. And then really the entire gang comes back together in Hawkins and they see ashes falling down. And that's kind of signifying that shit is about to hit the fan and that, Vecna is about to take over the whole town.
Yeah,
So that's
the
where we
rap
left things.
that kind of like multiple rapture thing coming down onto the town is, well, quite the cliffhanger, because now you want more, and it's probably a good thing that wasn't my lasting image, because the 3.5 years probably would have irritated me a lot more if it was. um, as opposed to rewatching it, seeing it, and then okay, the episode drops in 12 hours. But the Max thing is funny to me because she, like, we're watching her limbs are breaking all in different
Mm,
directions and her eyes are bleeding out. Like, she is like, but she's not all the way dead because she's speaking to Lucas at the end. So
mm-hmm.
it's she's like he like kind of pushed her 90% to death, but he didn't kill her all the way. And then when she's in the hospital, yeah, I watch a lot of medical dramas, and it didn't have the coma vibe to me. It had like the brain dead vibe to me. So I almost kind of felt like this is a situation where Max should be dead. They shouldn't be waiting for her to wake up. The overall climate of the show should be waiting for them to accept that she's gone and to let her go. So the coma thing kind of felt misplaced.
It feels weird that like she's in a coma after, right?
Yeah,
Because yeah, she to your point, she says like doesn't she say I can't feel my legs or something? So you
and she
you
can't
kind of
see. She says, "I can't see."
yeah, she's like I can't see, I can't feel my legs or something. So
Hmm.
you're like okay, is she paralyzed? And then you see like Lucas like distraught and then like I don't know if they had scenes of her in the hospital, like him by her bedside. Like, I don't remember, but yeah, it was almost didn't was that after or before 11 revived her? Because I'm just a little like confused about how she was talking and then she's in a coma now and like she is like a vegetable.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like 11 did something to her while they were still in the haunted house. It wasn't in the hospital. I thought it was when they were in the haunted house.
Yeah, when she's like lying on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, getting into it, I guess, what would be your one thing to watch for this last final season?
This last final season that's legged out as much as humanly possible. Um,
Exactly.
so there's a bit of a a slow burn with Will here, and over the course of the series, whether it's by accident or by design, Will is the forgotten member of the group. Mike has a very colorful um, story arc. Lucas,
Mhm.
Dustin has a very colorful story arc. Lucas, not so much, but still very prevalent in the group. Then he has the Max Angle thing going.
Mhm.
So, and it's interesting to see them design his character like that, because he's of course the one that Vecna originally took way back in season one. And over the other seasons, at times he's used as a vessel to out scheme Vecna. So it's always interesting to me to watch Will be this kind of back burner to Mike, to Dustin, to Lucas, to the older kids. And I feel like, being very careful not to say anything too revealing. I feel like this is there's this is going to change in this final season.
Yeah, and I'm going to use a phrase that I really hate, and I'm sure you hate as well, but I just cringe when it's used. But we could say that Will is like the redheaded stepchild. Did you know that I was going to say that? Um,
No, I didn't. I don't.
because I do feel like he is sort of the forgotten character, especially because that I guess it was season 1 is like when he's kidnapped, he's like pretty much gone that whole time and like we got everything that was going on was all the other characters, and he was sidelined because he was kidnapped. So like we didn't
Right.
really see what he was up to. Like, so he is kind of the forgotten one. And like as far as the 80s wardrobe, I do feel like they did him the dirtiest with that ugly ass bowl cut. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
they they really did him dirty. Noah
Yeah.
Schnaps.
Chap. I don't think there's any at all,
Noah
actually.
Schnapp. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking that there was an N in it. But yeah, they totally did him dirty with the costuming and the and the entire show. Up until this season, he's looking a little more normal and cooler with his haircut this season.
Which is it is he is, but it's also funny to me that he's also the one that the Harry Potter effect is felt most with. Like Mike a little bit, but Mike kind of had a funny look to him when he was a kid, little kid too. And Lucas and
Mm,
Dustin are kind of just older versions of themselves. They still look like Lucas and Dustin. But Will, when you think of the little bowl cut Will and then this teenager Will, they're almost unrecognizable.
yeah, you could say that puberty was rougher on Noah Schnapp. I guess you could say that. Yeah, he does like what was striking about the opening episode, the first of the four episodes, and it doesn't really spoil anything, but basically I thought that they were using older footage of Noah Schnapp as Will.
No, I
What they
don't think that was
actually
him.
Yeah, so what they actually did is they filmed new scenes with current Noah Schnapp, and then they did some sort of digital de-aging to make it
uh,
look like he was younger, which was interesting
uh.
because I thought that the Duffer brothers, like they're kind of like these like geniuses. So like you would think that they would have had the entire show mapped out like 10 years ago. So you would have thought that back in the day when Noah Schnapp and the whole cast of children was young, that they would have thought to film that stuff back in the day, but I guess they didn't.
Well, that's actually funny because there's scenes of 11 in Hawkins' lab where they're not flashbacks to the previous seasons. So I feel like they had that idea with 11 to film when she was a little kid, when Millie Bobby Brown was a little kid. Because I don't remember any of there's a lot of Hawkins lab scenes that I don't remember from season 3 or whenever they spent a lot of time there. But yeah, Noah Schnapp, like that definitely was not
Yeah,
shot back in season 1.
I definitely looked it up and it is a mix of current Noah and they made it look more like younger Noah. So
I
that
don't like
was
that.
that
I
was
would have rather
it
it
was
recast.
interesting.
I think I would have rather them found a kid that just looked like him and just used a different actor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that probably would have been the preferred thing, especially because, it has been 3.5 years and, all these kids are different. And you have a different Holly. Holly is Mike and Nancy's youngest sister, and it's actually a different actress. I looked that up too. And there was no like, it wasn't because of the time difference. It was because there were twins that played Holly and they had retired already. And from acting, they'd had retired and they needed a more experienced kid who could step in and kind of because like you kind of vaguely remember Holly from the first four seasons. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
she just kind of
minimal.
like my little sister, I'm in the background. Oh, I'm so cute and whatever. Like, it's not a big thing. So they wanted her to have a more prominent role, so they had this other actress step in, and I thought she was good. But yeah, that's another example of like using a different actor or like aging affecting the acting or all
Yeah,
that good stuff.
the parents didn't want her to go full Mary Kate and Ashley, I guess. Um, and the one thing I'll say, and I think back to season 1 and when the kids are doing a Dungeons and Dragons thing, Will is always referred to as Will the Wise.
Hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say. People take that as you will, but by the time we get to the end of these 4 episodes, I felt a sense of fulfillment as a calling back to that moment.
Yeah. And I think to your point about talking about Will being the forgotten member of the group, um, I mean, like, I think I wonder if I'm curious if there's anyone out there who maintains the fact that Will is their favorite character across this show, the life of this show. Like, is there anyone out there? Like, I would love to hear from people in the comments, or just let us know, email us. Like, I would love to know if someone out there's like, yeah, I love Will. I've loved him since season one. He's been my
Yeah,
favorite. I relate to him. Like, I would love to hear that, because I mean, I kind of feel like by design, Will is sort of meant to be forgotten, and he because of that, he might kind of slip into the background and kind of be one of the lesser favorite characters, just because he doesn't have like a big personality. He's very introverted. He's not, out there and friendly and outgoing. Like, he's not like a Dustin. He's not like, oh, I'm the natural born leader of the group, like Mike,
like
so he doesn't really have like a clear cut identity. Like, if that group of guys was a boy band, like, he wouldn't have a clear cut personality. So I do kind of think that that puts him on the back burner for people. And I would love to hear if anyone has always loved Will.
he's kind of like Doug from The Hangover.
Like, you never see him through the whole
Yeah,
movie, right?
yeah, exactly.
You see him in
Um,
like the first 5 minutes and the last five
and
minutes,
then at the
right?
end, yeah.
That's so funny. That's a funny
Um,
comparison.
and I've also find it funny as far as like a real life thing because he's so buried in the story and 11 is so front and center. I've been seeing a lot of social content over the past week, and it turns out No Shap and Millie Bobby Brown are best friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so funny to me that you have a, one of the kids that is like star of stars on the show, and the other one that's kind of lesser written, and they're like this in real life.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I think all the kids are pretty close, because they've been going through this for what,
hmm,
9 or 10 years together, and they're all pretty close. But yeah, in particular, Noah and Millie Bobby Brown are, yeah, BFFs. So it is kind of funny that she's kind of the star of the show, and he's the redhead stepchild without having red hair.
yeah. Well, he walked in on our Hot Ones episode, so there's that. If you need proof of how tight they are, there's that.
Oh, I didn't. I don't. You know what? I don't keep up with hot ones. I just catch like the ones of like the people I really want to see. So I must have
Yeah.
missed that one. But um, so getting into my one thing. So this probably isn't all that big of a surprise. If you know me, you know my MO. I like good looking people. I like charismatic people. And so my thing to watch for is Steve Harrington, otherwise known as Joe Keery. And again, I think aside from maybe like a portion of the first season where he was Nancy's boyfriend, he was a jerk, and he was the kid with the hair, and he was a rich kid or popular kid, we were kind of like, oh, this guy's a douchebag, to start off with. Then everybody loved him, and I still think everybody loves him. And I do consider him to be a fan fave. So that's why I'm saying that, there's nothing groundbreaking here in me saying that he's my reason to watch, my thing to watch for. Um, but yeah, I just find him very captivating to watch, and he's just as captivating and charismatic now as he was in seasons 1 through 4. He's got that protective older brother, like, I'm your surrogate dad behavior with all of the kids, especially Dustin. He's hilarious. He's a great friend. Like, he's a very loyal, great friend to these kids. And then offline, he's a musician, and he's sort of a solo act. He goes by DJO, which is pronounced Joe. Like, I guess the D is silent. I don't know. So you've definitely heard one or two of his songs on Instagram or TikTok, though, as like a trending sound. So yeah, I enjoy seeing that half of his talent, because he's so gracious. Like, when he plays these big shows as musician, he's so gracious for every person that showed up and is cheering and listens to his music. So Yeah, I love Steve Harrington. I love Joe Keery, I guess. Sue me.
I I like Steve's candor. I love his humor, and I appreciate his ability to always know the right thing to do. But
Mm.
there is one thing that's never I've never been able to fully embrace him because he's never gotten over Nancy. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, you know what? I think the thing that I don't root for Steve and Nancy. I never really
Mhm.
did. I feel like ever since they broke up, I was kind of like, this is for the better. Like you guys are just
Yeah.
two different people. They were a nice looking couple, but to be honest, I mean, um, who's the actress who plays Nancy? I can't remember her
Natalia Dyer.
name.
Natalia
Thank
Dyer.
you. And then Charlie such and such is
Heaton. Charlie Heaton.
Charlie Heaton plays Jonathan.
Yeah.
And I do think they've been a real couple like pretty much since the beginning, I think, for 8 years or so now, I think.
Yeah. I think I actually read that
Since
recently, and I think it was 2017. They've been together since
yeah,
2017.
they've been a real couple at least since like season 1 or 2. So
Yeah.
they've been going strong a long time. And I do think there's something about them like on their characters relationship that I kind of prefer over Steve and Nancy. Like I just don't think Steve and Nancy are meant to be. And like that's fine. Like they were like first loves or first serious loves or whatever, but like I don't think they're end game. They're not like meant to be together forever.
No, and Murray says it a couple times throughout the series that they have the shared trauma. They also have this
Mhm.
opposites attract type of chemistry.
Mm.
But Steve is always still like trying to insert it, and then Robin in season 4 has a little bit of a puppet master moment, which is, I just want what's good for my friends, and she puts an emphasis on the fact that friends is plural, like she's implying that
Mm.
she wants Nancy to give Steve another chance. So like Robin also knows that Steve can't get over Nancy, but I want to wring Steve's neck. I'm like, bro, you are like the hunk of the town here. Find another chick, man.
I just think there's someone out there like, and this is nothing that anyone wants to hear, but like there's someone out there for you that's more suited for you, that's better for you, that's meant for you. Like I think that there is someone out there that's a better match for Steve. And I don't necessarily think that this will happen, but I hope by the end of this last season that there is like some little spark of something where Steve looks at some new character or some new
Mm,
person he comes across and has that spark and we're like, oh, okay, Steve is over Nancy, like he's good, like this is
yeah.
his person. Like that's what I hope happens, but I don't know that it will.
Well, it was supposed to happen with Robin, but they had to write her into being a lesbian.
Of course.
um, but I mean, with Nancy, like I get it. I mean, like Nancy's my favorite character, and honestly, when she does the whole shotgun thing, it's almost comical at a certain point, but it's almost like it's her third arm at this stage of the game. Like when she gets her shotgun, she is like in a different zone.
Yeah, I kind of like the take charge nature of Nancy,
Mhm.
especially because she's so tiny, like
Yeah,
super tiny, like she's half of me. And I'm pretty petite myself, but she's literally half of me. And then she just has it together. She's the one that's planning everything. She's the one that's like, oh, we need this and we need this and we need this. And let's like band together and gather up our stuff and let's do this. Like she's really like the rallier.
it's a Wheeler thing.
It could be a Wheeler thing, like
Yeah,
the natural born leader.
yeah. But yeah, but I agree. Like, and Steve also has that characteristic too, so maybe that's what it is. But then it's also that argument of too much energy in the same room. You can't have two
Yeah.
alpha. You can't have two alphas together. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't.
I feel like we've talked about that dynamic a lot is like people recognizing that they're two alphas butting heads and like sometimes it's just it's too too much headbutting to be something significant. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just too much. Like you could have an understanding of each other where you're like, okay, I realize we both are this way, and it is what it is. But yeah, I think Nancy and Steve are like two alpha dogs, and I don't think it's in the cards for them.
No.
So I'm hoping it kind of stays that way.
Yeah. But I do
But
like
we'll
Steve. I
see.
like Steve a lot. I just wanna I just wanna punch him in the nose sometimes.
I like when he's on screen, I'm just like, I just love him. Like he puts a smile on my face. Like he gives me joy.
He also has a little bit of that appealing, nerdy, nostalgic dynamic. Like he reminds you of like whatever they did, whether it's just his look and with a little touch of makeup and wardrobe, or that was specifically designed. Because I've seen shots of Joe Kier in real life, and he doesn't like the way he dresses is not anything remotely close to what Steve dresses like. But they kind of designed him to be this stereotype 80s heartthrob, 90s heartthrob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just he looks like a believable 80s heartthrob. It's just it must be the hair or something.
It's
I don't
definitely
know.
there.
It's definitely like the big
Yeah,
helmet of
poofy.
hair that he's got. Okay. So all of this being said about our favorite characters or least favorite characters, so usually on Red and Red Real Reviews, no trademark yet, but someday maybe. The question we're usually asking is, should you watch it? So like usually we're saying, should the audience spend time on watching this show or this movie? So maybe because we've waited 3.5 years this time, the more appropriate question would be, was this worth waiting for?
Hmm. And it's funny because this came out prime time Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, and I think it also adds to like the question of should you watch because this week people have been waiting for so long. I'm like, if you haven't watched it yet by the time our review drops, like what are you waiting for? Like you were either had to been entertaining 20 people at Thanksgiving for the entire weekend or traveling cross country with spotty internet. Because otherwise, I don't know how you haven't at least watched one episode of this. And I feel like the way this went, it's hard to watch one episode and then not just continue to watch the others.
Yeah, and I think because people have waited so long, they're really trying to prevent like spoilers, and they're really trying to make sure it's not ruined for them.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have a friend who is married and has a child, and because her and her husband did not want it ruined for them, they actually like had a plan like we are going to watch all 4 episodes Wednesday night, and like that way we can't read anything that'll spoil it
Yep.
for us, like no one can verbally spoil it for us, like we're going to just nip it in the bud, and like we don't want it, like we've been waiting so fucking long for this thing, like we don't want to ruin this for ourselves, so we're just going to knock it out. And like I wonder if some people might have had that strategy because they're like determined to not have it ruined for them.
Burn it till 3 in the morning. I respect it.
Phew, that would have been a
Um,
long one.
well, the other thing is, and the inverse of that, like the same mentality but manifested differently, is avoiding spoilers for 5 to 6 weeks so you can
That's
watch them
hard.
all on New Year's Eve. But you literally have to take these things and chuck them across the room.
Right. You can't go on the interwebs at all. You
Yeah.
can't go on the World Wide Web at all. Like and you know what? I don't know about like my mother-in-law watching this specific show, but I know my mother-in-law would do that for Outlander. She would wait until like the whole 8 or 10 episodes were out before she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't want to watch just one episode and then like wait till next week. Like I want to watch all 8 or 10 episodes at once." So she usually does kind of wait till the season is over for some of her favorite shows. And like, I don't know if some people have that strategy, but yeah, you might as well throw your phone out the window for
Yeah.
2 months or a month and a
Yeah.
half.
Exactly.
Because that's going to be really hard to do. Like I try to stay off certain platforms, and even sometimes I'll see spoilers of shit, and it pisses me off. I'm like, thanks, because would have never figured that out on my own, and you just ruined it for me, and now I know
Yeah,
that, and I can't unknow that. Like I can't just be like, oh, forgot you saw that. Like
yeah,
you can't.
yeah.
Once you've seen it, it's
It's in there.
I hate that. Like I've seen spoilers of like characters dying before I watched it. Like that shit pisses me off.
Yeah, that's their bad spoilers. That's definitely bad spoilers.
Yeah. And so yeah, this situation, because it's been so long, it's like a very delicate situation. Like we don't want to be those jerks that spoil it for you. I mean, like don't get me wrong, I generally enjoyed these first four episodes, but um I do feel like not saying they were completely uneventful, because that's not really an accurate representation, but
No.
for me, not like tons happened like plot wise. So the first part of the three kind of seemed to be mostly like background, getting like deep into things, and then like the characters are really in planning mode, like those first few episodes of like what they're going to do and how they're going to deal with it, and how they're going to like tackle these issues. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of like funny little moments. We got some like tearful moments. We got some little special like bonding moments between some characters. Like, sure, we got all of that. I just like I don't want people thinking that like going into it thinking that, oh man, you're gonna have so much happen in four episodes. Like for the bulk of it for me was really in like I think like the third and fourth episode, probably like the first and second episode are like mostly like background info, like diving deeper into things like
But I mean, I gotta disagree a little bit there because like I don't see the background information for me is different when they're doing flashbacks for an entire episode. Like if there's a whole episode, an hour plus dedicated to Hawkins' lab, or a whole hour plus dedicated to Jonathan and Will uh and Mike being on the other side of the country, and you don't see anything that's going on. Like that's the kind of stuff I find distracting. Like all like planning the crawls out and that sort of thing. It was at least like a progressive linear storyline. So to me, I didn't really find that as backstory because I could see things happening at the same time. So I thought that I don't have the empty feeling about these first four episodes. I felt engaged throughout the whole thing.
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I felt engaged, but I don't know, I just like, and again, like not like nothing happened, but I'm not sure if like tons happened that like drove the story that much forward yet. And I think I mean like thinking of a ordinary show that has 8 episodes, right? Or 8 to 10 episodes. Usually by the time episode is four is done, you're like basically halfway through the season. So you've gone through this whole arc of stuff happening. Like I do think because it's like these episodes are longer, and because there's less of them and this is the final season, that they're kind of like it is a little bit of a like a slow burn sort of.
All the Christmas episodes are like feature film length, so we're
Yeah.
really probably like only a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe they're leaving, and like they did have a cliffhanger. Obviously they want something to like keep you intrigued into waiting a month for the second part. So there was quite a cliffhanger on the fourth episode, but I'm kind of wondering if they're saving like the bigger plot twists and the bigger stuff for like those longer episodes, or just like a little bit further into the season, if they're just kind of like, okay, let's off the top, let's give you guys all the stuff that you liked before. You liked the stuff with Dustin and Steve being friends and like a babysitter and his babysitting, like, you like that stuff. So let's just give it to you more, like
Yeah,
I'm wondering if
yeah,
that was the approach.
yeah, but it didn't feel like that. It didn't have the same feeling to it because they captured that in the midst of them progressing through the mission they were on. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like it wasn't like their relationship building as its own storyline. It was continuing through their actions that are pertinent to the story.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's they turned the dial on the stuff that we liked before from seasons 1 through 4, but like obviously stakes are higher now,
Yeah, and
you know?
we didn't talk anything about Hopper, who's one of the most beloved
Yeah.
characters in the show. And I thought they brought Hopper back to, kick ass and take names Hopper. So I thought that was fantastic, and 11 a little bit too. So I mean, like
Mm.
I'm like that was very very appealing to me in this, and the end of it is I thought had was pretty
Yeah.
climactic. So I was
Quite a
I was very
cliffhanger.
satisfied by it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like for me, all that being said, I think it was worth watching. Like I can't see having waited 3.5 years for this show to be like, yeah, that just wasn't really worth it for me. Like I still enjoyed it. And I want to see what happens, obviously. So I like it wasn't bad to the point where I was like, yeah, I have no interest in this anymore. Goodbye. Not at
yeah, no,
all.
no, and for the length of the episodes, they did keep it moving at a good pace.
Yeah. And so I think that's gonna kind of set the stage for the next two parts that we have. So we have one coming out around Christmas, and then one coming, and then the finale, just the last episode, is going to be out on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I'm excited. Way to start 2026.
Yeah, way to kick off the year. So we hope you'll kick off the year with us for that. So if you enjoy listening to our show, we would appreciate it if you gave us a 5-star review and let us know what you think of each episode. Also, hit that follow or subscribe button so you know when new episodes release. Next up, we're keeping the Netflix steam going strong with a TV series called The Abandons. And just a little note here, I noticed on IMDb that it does not say limited series or mini series, which a lot of series will say. So I'm wondering if this is planning on being a full-fledged show if it does well. So that's kind of exciting. So this one is starring Gillian Anderson and Lena Headey. And you know her, of course, as Cersei from Game of Thrones. So the tagline for this is, when a corrupt force of wealth and power covets the lands of a group of diverse and atypical families and tries to drive them out, they must pursue their manifest destiny. So what do you think about this Western-ish show?
When you play the game of cowboys, you either win or you die.
I think this is going to be awesome. I'm
Little
pumped.
Game of Thrones reference. Give me something. I tried to make it work. I made it work.
Well, we'll bring you that fun little Western. I hope it's as good as I think it's going to be. This might be quite a hit for Netflix, but we'll see what happens. So until the next real review, Red and Red signing out.